Sons of the Forest is a completely different title from when it launched in February of this year. With the recent update, patch 06, the game has introduced two mechanics that have completely shaken the way the game is played. Now, whether you are a dedicated fan and you are still consistently playing it, or you've taken a break, with these new added mechanics, I think checking out the title once again is something you should consider. The two things I want to go over in today's video are going to be the hard survival difficulty mode, as well as the settings that were implemented, along with the custom effigies. Now, you may be curious why I'm coupling these two mechanics in one video, but you guys will understand in just a little bit. Really quickly, guys, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it, as it helps me in the channel more than you know, and subscribe for everything Sons of the Forest and all things gaming. I would love to have you in the community, but without further ado, let's talk about this. So patch 06 by far has to be my favorite update, and probably will be my favorite update moving forward with the game. Now, you might be curious, why is this? Why is it such a big update? Well, with hard survival implemented, it changed the pace and changed the way the game works completely overall. This is a survival game we have been looking for. This is similar to how the first title was at launch. It didn't have a lot of survival elements to it, and eventually through updates it became the survival title that it is today. Now, with Sons of the Forest, they brought in a new category of settings in the custom settings under survival. These are specifically related to the hard survival game modes. What I do recommend is, instead of just going to single player and doing new game, going to hard survival, I do recommend doing custom. The reason being, if you do hard survival, these enemies' health, damage, armor, and the enemies overall, they're all going to be on high. But all this does is they make them very spongy, and it makes the fighting mechanic not that fun and enjoyable. You don't do any more damage, the enemies just take more damage. That's all it's going to be. So set these settings to your preferred settings, your preferred style. Same with the environment. But the biggest things here is take survival damage, turn it on normal or hard, whatever you want to do. I recommend doing hard. Consumable effect, put that on hard. Now we have cold penalties, we have reduced food in containers, and we have single-use containers. So these were introduced in patch 03, and a lot of the community was torn about this. I did not enjoy it when it was implemented. I did think it had to be an option, a toggleable option, and now it is. Now we can turn it off and on at will. And just from changing these settings, putting these all on, and putting these to hard, and then leaving everything to your preferred setting, the game is going to play completely different. The survival aspect's going to play completely different. Basically what it does is going to make your survival damage, whether you're not having enough food, whether you're cold, your guy is drinking dirty water, whatever it may be, you're going to take damage from those elements and those aspects. Now, the consumable effect, food is going to be more scarce because we have single-use containers, reduced food in containers overall. We can no longer save, spawn, and reload the game, and containers will refill. I never actually did this. This was a great way to stockpile items. We now have the cold penalty as well. You put that on hard. It's going to be way more difficult for you to just cruise around in the winter jacket and just be like, I'm going to just hang out. So the big thing about this update that I think is fantastic is not just the fact that the game is now a super good survival title, because as we know, the mechanics of building, whatever it may be in the title, is fantastic. And now they have the true survival elements of a survival game implemented into Sons of the Forest, and it's great. As you guys know, with patch 05, they did introduce cooking. Cooking is going to be a huge element now when you play on these harder survival difficulties. If you haven't already, check out my cooking video on all the buffs and what the buffs do, and it is going to be very beneficial knowing these buffs and having these pots ready on demand for you when you need them when you're playing hard survival. The next thing, and this is the thing you guys might be confused about, why am I going to talk about custom effigies when we're going over a video strictly about survivability and hard survival? Well, in the first title, The Forest, we did have custom effigies. We had the standard effigy as well. And they actually did something specific with the mechanics of the cannibals and the mutants. It scares off the mutants and cannibals. As you guys can see, we'll take a look at the custom effigies here. Player effigies cause fear to cannibals based on the number of body parts. So the more body parts you have on an effigy, the more effigies you have around your base, cannibals are no longer going to attack you as often and as frequent. They will destroy the effigies, and they will come in packs, and they will eventually attack you. But this is adding on to the whole survival mechanic of the game, getting into fights constantly. You're going to be able to deter the cannibals now, which is fantastic. They also reduce some oversaturated animal spawn areas and spread them out more, so that's going to help with the survival aspect of the game. And if we look further into the patch notes, we go into the balancing aspect. Sleeping outdoors will now give less rest than sleeping indoors. The amount of rest gained by the player is now modified by their current comfort rating. Certain soups and clothing can affect comfort rating. Again, this is why I was talking about the cooking pot and the new cooking mechanic. It's going to be very important, especially on hard survival. Lower chance of meds. Large demons can now spawn sometimes above ground after endgame. These guys are freaking huge. I don't know if you guys have seen them yet. They're insane. And then if we take a look at specifically the hard survival, they reduce food spawns and crates, as we know. No item storage crate respawn on load in this game mode, as we know. They lowered fish and animal spawns, decreased target health and stamina regen speeds while cold. Increased penalty for raw and rotten meats. So the survival aspects of Sons of the Forest just got elevated to the extent that I enjoy. And again, guys, this is great because it's all toggled. You don't have to have these settings on. You can go to a custom server and you can tailor it to the way you want it. And this is what I think is great, because I know not all the player base is going to want to play a survival game that's going to be this difficult, but I know I'm going to enjoy it. I'm pretty sure a lot of my community is going to enjoy it. This pretty much wraps up the video. I just wanted to go over these key points because I think Sons of the Forest has completely changed from when it initially released in February. And I'm super excited that they implemented this. It's kind of crazy that they implemented this so quickly, but I think they did that for a reason, because as you guys know, the next update is not coming for roughly a month. So I think the game is pretty dialed in now. We got the stone walls, we got the log sleds, we got pretty much everything. They fixed the shotgun. We got a lot of lore items. But I think the next update is going to be a huge expansion to the story because we have so many new mechanics. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Jump back into Sons of the Forest. Try the hard difficulty. Let me know what you think. Let me know down in the comments if you're excited about this new implementation for the hard survival for the title. I would love to see and hear your guys' feedback. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for all things Sons of the Forest and everything gaming. I would love to have you in the community. And as always, guys, stay happy, stay hyped, and have a beautiful day.